Hey there, gang. It's your boy, Hobbesy. Yes, that Hobbesy. Just want to do a little housekeeping before this first little episode and say I did a lot of things on the fly, and I'm a silly boy. I said at the very beginning, somewhere before the actual episode start, that I had RJ coming through two audio sources, and I did not bother to correct that. And so due to that, there's going to be some, when adjusting other audio, some elevation in RJ's voice. So just be mindful of that, mind your ears, all that good stuff. And hey, thanks for joining us for this little test episode / introduction to the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros. Enjoy. 2, 1, action? I don't know, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boos and ghouls, welcome to the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros. And then something like that. I don't know. We just roll into a fucking episode, I guess. Yeah, there we go. That's the intro. Hey, and I meant to just jump into it, but nerves, like I said. So we're going to jump into it. Hey, hello, and welcome to episode 0, the premiere before the premiere episode of the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros, a horror film discussion between two buddies, raised in the muck and viscera of it all. I am the titular Hobbesy, and on the other side of the audio, somewhere in the depths of the void seas, is my co-ghost, RJ. I'm not going to go with the the name.
I was going to say,
RJ.
Well, the counter that does not exist is at 1 of how many names I will have by the end of this.
No, it's gonna be a surprise. We'll get to it eventually. It's a process. It's all still pre-production. We're gonna get there. But
I was wondering what name you're going with to start off.
We're gonna stick with your name. We're gonna call it like it is for the moment. But yeah, hi, welcome yourself and myself to this cast episode, as it were, and the introduction to our dear sweet program that we hope and intend to build from the ground up here. Hi there, RJ. How you doing?
We are here at last. We're here.
At last. Yeah, we're here. We're here. So deep. How you feeling? You all right? You good? You all right?
I mean, when it comes to me talking and there's people, eventually, always nerves.
This is just, we just block it out. We try to block it out.
Yeah.
Not going to pretend like I'm not vibrating right now. And I don't know if it's the excited energy of, hey, we're finally fucking here and we're going to do a thing, or if it's I'm going to throw up all over my floor.
I was totally hoping you were just going to say notifications on your phone or something was making you vibrate.
Yeah, absolutely. Something. Question mark. Yeah, no, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling much better than I was, I think, before we got set up. Because we had pre-chats in which I was expressing plots to scrap myself in the project today. I don't feel good. I don't want to do it. It's gonna be bad. I'm scared. But now we're full of all the confidence in the world because I think that's what the microphone demands of me. But yeah, we are here. It is episode 0. First of the first. Doesn't technically exist. May never exist. Who knows? We'll see. We got the little introduction of the music that will be playing at the beginning of every episode, which is fun. And I don't. There are some things I have to look into with this because I'm almost 100% certain we might get tagged in the VOD for this, and I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some emailing to Twitch, not the first time, to show licenses and whatnot. But what's that?
This is all more a test than anything else right now.
It really is, and I think we had a little bit of a mic stifling there. I'm not sure. We came through clear on the second half, so I think we're good now. Yeah, it's all a test. We might get tagged for that. We might have to send some emails, figure some stuff out. I don't know, but we'll find out. Yeah. At the end, we'll continue it. It goes into a hard ass beat. It's pretty sweet. Who knows? We might do something with it later. Yeah, it's just here we are. The first is first, as I said. Anyway, let's. I guess we can just move on because we've gotten over the vibe of it. Everybody's nervous. We're pretending like nobody's there, paying attention to it. And once we put it out into the world, we just ignore it and never acknowledge it again. Just bury it like they did with all those copies of E.T. in the desert, and nobody will ever look for them.
Like that's got to be like an off-air conversation because I don't know what you're talking about and I'm intrigued.
Oh, okay, fun. Yeah, that'll be an off-air conversation that has nothing to do with the concept of horror as a genre. Maybe it does. Cause that's pretty scary. That was a pretty scary game there. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we're here. We're here now. Where were we before? However, what got you into horror as a genre? We'll just jump into our history with the genre itself.
We kind of have we definitely had a conversation about this before, like kind of leading up to this, and I still don't really have an answer. Like it's funny because like my dad always just he always had like a weird like things he was into, like music wise, movies wise, and all that. And I just kind of watched and listened to everything he did as like a kid. Remember that movie? That it was an anime movie, Heavy Metal.
Oh
I watched that
yeah,
when I was like 5.
that
I was
was
not supposed to watch that when I was 5.
same.
All right, so if that gives you a sense of like weird movies I grew up on, and like Puppet Master, freaking there's another one, Killer Clowns of Outer Space. Hint, hint. That's a future episode. Um, so, but I don't know. And then, because there were definitely movies that scared the absolute shit out of me when I was a little kid. Like, I love Chucky now. I love Child's Play now. But
sure.
Chucky as a kid scared the crap out of me because it was about a toy coming to life trying to kill you and steal your soul. I had a closet full of toys, and I'm like, all right, which one? Motherfuckers, they're coming after me. To this day, like I could finally sleep with the closet door open because I couldn't for the longest time as a kid. So yeah, there was that, but like I think it was just when those video games more than anything else that got me into more like horror movies because I played Resident Evil, Silent Hill, what was it, Dino Crisis,
Oh
all
yeah.
the survival horrors and all of that. So I think that's what really got me into like watching horror movies. And it's like the more I played the video games of jump scares and all that, the more I wasn't scared of the movies. I mean, because I told you before, like the fucking Other scared the crap out of me as a kid. That movie is not very good.
It's definitely going into a future season. I can assure you
It's not good.
that.
It was not good. But anyways, like I watched that movie now and I'm just like, what was scary about this? Because it's nothing. Because I can't even tell you the last time a movie scared me, to be honest now. Like it may have been when I was still like middle school wise. But yeah, I think that's about as best of an answer you're going to get out of me on that what got me into horror movies because I have no clue.
That's fair. I was going to interject.
Oh yeah.
On the scare point. Uh, I do remember the last time I physically felt you jump in the seat next to me, and it is a goofy point in time, but a very effective point. I said that they made very effective use of this object in the film, a balloon boy in FNAF, the film. I
Why
did
am I not remembering
I
this?
did physically feel you jump next to me on
I
either
am
the
not
first or the
remembering the
second Balloon
scene.
Boy reveal. You don't remember? Oh shit! Damn. Well,
I am not remembering this scene at all.
that makes me
And
sad.
now I need to go back and watch the movie now for like a third time.
Right,
So
right. We're gonna have to sit
'cause I
through it
do
again.
not remember jumping at that movie at all. Like it's a great movie. If you have not
Fantastic.
watched, please go out and watch. But I do not remember jumping at that movie at all. I just remember being mad at the loud ass tweens next to us.
For sure, for sure. I like the ones behind us that had actual knowledge of the lore.
Yeah, yeah. They
The
were
ones
too
next
bad.
to us, if I ever wanted to punch a high schooler, I don't think I wanted to punch a high schooler so bad back in high school when I was actively in direct contact with them. But man, just reach across that seat and
Exactly.
um, yeah, there were a few things in there I wanted to interject on actually, which relate directly to my own anecdotes. Uh, Going back to, I want to say, Child's Play and Chucky can heavily relate on that because I feel like Child's Play is probably one of the first horror films I was introduced to, and there were many. And
Oh, believe me, I've told you before, like, my brother literally forced me to watch horror movies as a kid. It was like Child's Play. It was, you remember the Leprechaun series? Like, I, oh, I hated that Leprechaun
we
so bad.
I'm gonna hold on to I'm gonna take this little card, this little note, I'm gonna tuck it in my pocket, I'm gonna stick it in the save it for later in the
Save it
podcast
for later. Yeah, you have
pocket.
like a pocket full of cards already.
Coming out the pockets, just flying everywhere. Yes, but Child's Play and Chucky. I don't know if you remember a thing called My Buddy.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
well, it's in the movie.
No, the movie was the good guy doll, but I mean, My Buddy
Oh,
really wasn't that far away from the good guy doll.
yeah, I was
That
gonna
was
say it's very similar.
yeah, that was our IRL version of
Yeah.
fucking the good
Oh,
guy. Um,
yeah.
along
I
with
believe me. I remember you talking to me about this.
its lady counterpart, kid sister. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to have a My Buddy as a child, and also be exposed to Child's Play as a film, and a series, a franchise. And let me tell you, it ruined me. That doll slept in my closet, and the door stayed closed for most all the time. And I only played with him when we were going outside and we were in visible public spaces. Actual terror.
Just you.
Yeah, actual terror imposed upon a child by introducing him to horror films involving dolls and then getting him a child-sized doll. More on top of that, I guess getting into horror in general for myself, like I said, I had uncles who I guess didn't have my best interests as a stable, well-rounded, and not deeply
That's what
traumatized child.
that's literally what uncles are for,
And
you know?
valid,
They're like supposed to
absolutely.
traumatize the crap out of you, teach you the wrong thing so you go back to your parents and then they have to like unteach you that stuff.
Oh, I 100% don't regret a damn thing of it. Like I am not cutting at these men at all. These men are responsible for who I am and my interest in my adult life for the most part. Especially when it comes to horror. Yeah, a lot of exposure. All the classics. We had our Freddy's, we had our Michaels, we had our Chuckies. And we had our Evil Deads, which is probably one of the moments that, one of the films that ruined me the most as a child, if only because my uncles also had a habit of pranking me horribly. So they sat me down to watch the Evil Dead 2, and they had to leave
Yeah.
for a
Sound like
reason.
good, they sound like good people, I'm not gonna lie.
Right?
Like good people.
Yes,
My kind of people.
let us put this like 10-year-old down in front of the Evil Dead 2, and then we're just gonna fuck off to the outdoors and uh 20 minutes into this beautiful feature film, all the power in the house goes out, and I'm left alone in the dark, just myself and my thoughts. And I do believe there were some tears and fleeing for the outdoors, hoping to find help, but not actually believing there was help. Um, That
I
probably
was gonna say, should we mention the woods scene in the first
I
movie?
do it. Yeah, we'll get to it when we see it.
True.
We all know the wood scene. We all know the Evil
Everybody
Dead.
knows the woods scene.
But yeah, so I guess it was just a lot of exposure therapy that
Yeah.
went into my childhood with horror. And then, of course, video games. Yes, Resident Evil. Resident Evil 3 came out that Christmas. I bought it and stayed up the entire night playing it and beating it with a buddy at the time. Alone in the Dark, Silent Hill. It's really
Dark was definitely one of my shows, and then I still have. I don't have all the Goosebumps books, but I have a good collection of Goosebumps books that I've read every single one.
Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps? Yeah, Goosebumps I read consistently for like going to the local Wally World, going to the book section that used to exist in them. I don't think they have book sections anymore, but seeing
If we lived in the same state when we were kids, we would have been in the same section, getting the same, probably fighting over like the last issue, the last book.
Fist fighting over a copy.
Exactly.
It came from beneath the kitchen sink or something. But yeah, those times being in the shop, standing in front of the new Goosebumps is out, grabbing it off the shelf, running. So like a lot of horror, children's horror literature and programming, along with horror films and things like The Twilight Zone and Outer Limits. And of course, as you said, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Which I don't give a shit what anybody says, had some legitimately scary episodes.
Yeah, it did.
It probably holds up. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. Beyond, and I'm Tales from the Crypt. I think it was last month or the month before. I went to bed just watching reruns of Tales from the Crypt, and that shit doesn't get old either. So yeah, it's a long history. What's that?
I was gonna say no. Tales from Crypt never gets old. Like
No,
yeah, that was another one. I didn't watch. I didn't watch. I wasn't like as into it, but the few episodes I did catch, I was like, this is it.
for sure. Yeah, so just pretty much the entire childhood, there was some aspect of it being steeped in horror, whether it was films, gaming, literature, even music, classic music, like the horror pops or
yeah, I was gonna say because as a kid growing up, listen to 60s, 70s metal. That was my introduction to music, and then of course horror and metal just kind of go hand in hand. And
definitely.
once you get into some metal, you just want it louder and heavier.
Yeah. Definitely. Even better with stage shows like Gwar, which we saw recently. Which definitely brings along with some sci-fi, some horror, into their stage productions. It's incredible. Yeah, so it is at this point 37 years steeped in horror. Essentially, I don't believe there was a point between coming out of the womb and drawing my first breaths in the real world that there wasn't some aspect, like something got pinched in there somehow. So yeah, it's a long history. But yeah, so we're just really into it all around, and even then with this, like, I'd love to talk about other things as well. Like, we're a film discussion at this point, but I mean, again, want to talk about games, music, we've got graphic novels. So there's so much to it. That I can
being, well, sorry to interrupt, but I'm just saying, being in Florida, like Halloween Horror Nights every year,
exactly,
and stuff like that we love to go to, and
yeah, like just these big horror events and like really fun stuff. Like, there will definitely be some bleed over. So yes, while we will primarily be a horror film discussion podcast, there's definitely going to be some bleed over. There might be some supplementary episodes or whatever where we just sit and talk about, oh, this new game, or oh, hey, dude, we just sat down with Ito, or any and everything. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, it's just a history with it. Any fun facts? Anything that really like ticks at you when it comes to horror? Anything that really gets you? I know you said you can't think of a time you actually felt scared in a long time when it comes to horror, but is there anything that kind of uh maybe digs at you a little more, gets under your skin a little more than another set of horror?
Well, I don't know when this light switch flipped in my head because like I used to not really get into like the graphic like the real graphic like horrors like the where because you have your like typical slasher films where like someone's getting stabbed or something like that, but like when they
Right.
show like the graphic part of like say somebody getting like gutted or something like that, like I could not, like Hostel, I could not watch that. And then like for some reason I don't know when this happened, but like because I would have to like look away, I can't look at any of that, I'm like nope, 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 done, done, done. But now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, Evil Dead's gonna show that, that's cool. Oh, Terrifier's gonna show that, that's cool.
Oh.
And now I'm just like, I'm more into that kind of horror than like say the what do you call it, like the supernatural stuff, like with ghosts and hauntings and stuff. Like there are good haunting horror movies, but most of them I don't really get into too much of them. Like the Paranormal Activities never really piqued my interest. But for some
Right,
reason,
right.
like the real graphic stuff now is like, now I'm not talking about like the weirdo, like oh my god, un- unfiltered stuff that nobody should ever see. Like no, we ain't doing that. But I'm just talking about like for whatever reason, like some of that just like became funny to me rather than like looking away from it. And yeah, maybe I just confessed a little too much on here all of a sudden now, but
Ah,
that's how it
yes, I
goes.
really am just a sick, twisted human being. Give me gallons of blood. Yes, yes. Uh,
Exactly.
I 100% get it. There's some stuff I can't really watch. Like, I mean, going into like the real like gore porn type shit. I mean, with Terrifier, I do recall the message exchange when you were sitting with it and had your sweet mother watching it. And I'm just like, oh,
She did get forced to watch it because she's
ah.
more on the paranormal side of horror movies. She loves those movies and not so much in the like slasher films, which I am the complete opposite. I more because I grew up on Freddy, Mikey, Jason, all of that. I love the old school slashers. Some of the new school slashers, like I guess Scream, is it really still considered new school slasher? Probably not so much. But anyways,
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it's still
new
releasing
generation,
modern
I guess.
iterations. Yeah.
But yeah, but like I'm more into that kind of more like horror movies than like the paranormal stuff. Even though like the Conjuring series, those are amazing movies. But yeah, so she doesn't really get into the same type of horror movies, and I have forced her to watch some movies now.
Yeah. I have to admit I get a sick pleasure of just like the message exchange when poor mom is watching something horrible. But yeah, no, I get that though. The Conjuring series is fantastic. I haven't gotten 100% through it, but what I have
I
watched of
think
it
I've
is
watched, yeah,
fantastic.
I think I've watched most of, if not all.
Fair.
I think, I think.
But Paranormal Activity I didn't really get into it
Yeah,
too much.
I have
That was
no
kind of an
interest.
enemy, and it's I still have to sit down with like Insidious and da 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 da. There's so much that I have to sit down with just from like that universe over yon. Um,
Again, highly recommend.
but beyond that, just some things. I I don't think I have like a favorite. I'm a fan of like classic slasher. Like we would, yeah, we'll throw like Scream into quote unquote classic slasher. It was kind of the revival of
Like,
the classic slasher, um, in a satirical sense, which the first film pulled off beautifully, and it was a weird progression going on. I guess the new ones are okay. I don't know. I haven't seen them. Probably should.
watching
Um,
after like the second or third one, to be honest with you.
yeah,
But
got through the
like
third one, and that was where
just
we
because it
stopped.
was like was like what 90s when Scream came out, and then like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and like those generation of slasher films.
Yeah, I want to say
But
that was late 90s, like
late
90,
90s, early
96, 7,
2000s,
8,
something like
somewhere around
that.
there. Or 99 rather. I think it was 99. But yes, but yeah, like the classic slashers will always be a favorite. I can go back and watch those anytime, every time, all the time. Stupid shit. Um, you mentioned Puppet Master earlier. Speaking of which, Puppet Master, the game is out and available on Steam. And if anybody plays, hey, go get it. Because we really need a community out there to make this game work. It's fun. It's fun. We just need players. Come on, guys. That little aside, off and away. Puppet Master is a fantastic series. That's one of those weird series where they have more films than I realized they had at one point. And I know for damn certain I haven't seen all of them, and I think the same can be said for Hellraiser as well. But definitely those classic slashers, and I guess slasher adjacents, kind of a I don't know if you'd call them monster movies. Like Puppet Master. I don't know if that would be considered a monster movie per se, but I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't consider it a monster movie, but I mean, because when I'm thinking monster movies, I'm thinking more like Stephen King kind of monster movies, like it.
Right.
What was that movie? Silver Bullet, I think it was.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like Frankenstein, Dracula, those kind of. I
Yes.
consider those more monster movies than Puppet Master.
I don't know where Puppet Master would really sit then, because it's not really a slasher. It's
Yeah.
maybe on
I
the
say
more
now,
extreme end of a thriller. I don't know.
now that you got me thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? It might be a monster movie.
I don't know. I don't know where it sits on that. But things that I can't do, however, I mentioned this in the notes. I can't do possession movies. Like on a by myself basis. And I don't know what it is, but just possession movies get to me. And I don't know if it's like leftover trauma from The Exorcist as a child, or I think it really came about with The Exorcism of Emily Rose when that dropped, and I think that put me in a big hole of like watching quote unquote real exorcisms and whatnot. And I think that might have applied some deep trauma that I haven't sorted yet. So yeah, I can't really get into possession movies like that. Like the realer ones, I suppose. There was one that came out recently, and the title is fucking blanking on me.
Was that the one where it was like the two girls, they both get possessed or something? I think it was like a part of the
Oh no,
Exorcist.
that was the new Exorcist film that everybody kind of
Okay.
was
I
not
don't know
on
if that's
board
the one
with.
you're referring to or not.
No, there's one that came out relatively recently. And it's about an old woman with dementia and everything. That one kind of fucked me up. That hit a little close to home. For personal life stuff too, and I'm like, oh, you can't hit me with
understand.
dementia and possession. What are you talking about? You can't demonstrate this in any way because they're both scary. So either way it goes, they're both fucking scary. Yeah, just like possession films get to me. That's the only thing I can't really touch by myself. But anything else, like I'll sit down, I'll fall asleep to a retrospective on a horror series or whatever I need to fill my brain with enough nightmares to get me through the night without waking. But other than that, yeah.
Because I don't think I actually answered your question properly, just because I don't think there really is like a type of horror movie that I just like where I'm like, I don't want to say scared to watch, but like I can watch any horror movie. It's just like, is it going to entertain me or bore me? And that's pretty much where I'm at on horror movies. If it's going to bore me, I'm not watching it. Like
right.
the paranormal movies kind of bored me, so I just never watched them.
But there's no there's no kind of edge of discomfort anywhere. I mean, other than
let's just put it this way, I haven't found one yet.
I was gonna say, let's say like beyond what we just simply won't watch. Like I'd mentioned a Serbian film. that's off the table. That's never going up anywhere. That'll never
Yeah,
happen.
the
I
way
don't
you
give a
described that to me, I don't think I'm watching that
no.
one.
It's too much, and I don't want it, and I don't like it, and I won't put myself through it ever again. Um, not for you, not for anyone. Fuck that shit. But yes, it's so pretty much just like on those edges of things that like you just won't touch, things that you would in your mind consider too much.
Like,
Understand.
nothing comes to mind.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Like, but at least you have a preferred genre. No, yeah, I just have that weird level of discomfort when it comes to that. Maybe it's because I am a believer in everything, at least a little bit. So just the idea that fucking devil or something could get into my body is a very discomforting idea. Like, I don't want anything in me that's not me, or that I didn't put there myself. But like, I think it's that concept that gets to me. Just that little bit of like, well, what if like zombies? I can fight zombies. Like a Freddy Krueger or something. We've seen Freddy can be beaten, like but the devil. I don't know if I got it in me to fight the devil. That may just be where that's at.
Teaspoon of holy water before you go to bed.
Yeah, right. just a little slug, a nightcap of holy water, the juice. But yeah, that's about it. That's the history. That's where I am with it, how I feel about it, my parts of it. Is there anything you'd like to add to it, or any other ideas you had in there? You'd like to interject anything good?
No, I think we pretty much covered a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything there.
Yeah.
Hey, with that, we can move on, I guess, to the next section where I guess we'll talk about the show, where we are. We're here now. We did a little bit of it at the beginning, and we did a little bit of it in the middle there. I guess we'll just kind of talk about the show, what we want to do, what we want to see, where we want to take it. Because I mean, we've had ideas, we've kicked some stuff around before even sitting down to do this. I've got a few things kicking up top. We already have a couple ideas for segments to go in. I don't know if you've got any other ideas in that department, if there's anything you want to slide in or anything you've been thinking about or sitting on. But yeah, we've got some segments. But
I think we have some pretty good ideas, and now I'm sure it'll evolve as we get more into it.
definitely for sure. And as we become more comfortable with the process, I'm sure more things will come to mind and things we can just kind of throw in on the fly here and there. But where we are with it, I guess, you're hearing it, for one. It's just me and RJ and me and a little screen and some microphones. But we are definitely going to be jumping into a nice variety, I'd say, in the first set of films that we have picked. We're not going to go into all of them, but we can say up front the first episode is going to cover Halloween 1978, just because that is a big heavy hitter. Everybody knows Halloween, and I have a pretty good feeling anybody listening to it, who knows what they're coming into, is going to have a solid idea as far as fun facts of the film and stuff like that. So they'll be able to get into it, give a listen, hear kind of a refresher for people. And that's really exciting. We're looking for that. And then on episode 2, we can reveal that, because I think we revealed that. I don't know. We gave a hint earlier. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt. I was just saying, yeah, we definitely have the first two in order. After that, haven't discussed yet.
Yeah,
but we do have a list of movies. We're just not sure the order yet.
Yeah, we've got some ideas of how we're going to select them. Either select them for each other and just alternate back and forth, picking off of each other's list at the end of each episode. I was also thinking of maybe like a little wheel, or a randomizer. But that's stuff. That's stuff for us to fuck around with, have fun with, figure out. We are in a we are in a just born stage. I was gonna say a growing stage, and I'm like, we're not growing. We just like got plopped out on the asphalt and got, kind of shuffled to the side of the road by the street sweeper here. That's where we are in our current growth. Now it's time to claw our way out of the gutters. But thank you. But yes, like I said, segments. We've got the first 2 episodes figured out. Like I said, Halloween 1978. It's a heavy hitter. Everybody knows it, and it's a personal favorite of ours. As well as the second episode, we're going to be looking at Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because that is also a personal favorite of both of us.
That one's more for us than the audience. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely, 100%. Like, I don't give a shit what you think about Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because it is.
That might be like king of the bad, great horror movies.
I was gonna say that is like
me.
Pristine, quintessential 1980s cheese horror. Just goofy and fun, and yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to sit down and do. Just to watch it again is gonna be fun. But I mean, beyond that, we're looking at I'm saying a lot, and I am so sorry. We're looking at, what's that?
Everybody does it.
Yeah, Barack Obama did it. Champion ass Obama did it. Anyway, we're gonna be episodes, segments. Where the hell was I? Getting into the show, how we got here, what we'd like to do with it, and see from it. Shit, RJ, help me. Bam, fill me in. What are we doing? Beyond the episodes, the segments, what we're doing. I've said these things 100 times now. We
still like watching the movie, kind of dissecting the movie, doing some fun facts.
Thank God
favorite, maybe having what our favorite, like, especially like slasher films and stuff like that, like what our favorite kill was, favorite kill of the night or whatever. I think that's what we were calling it, but in that realm.
You are a godsend for doing that for me, because saying watching the film triggered what I was trying to lead into that was just on the tip of my brainstem but not flying off the tongue. The watch alongs is a thing we'd like to do in the future as well, where, private Discord, we get together with people who want to sit down, watch the film along with us as we take notes. We kind of vamp during it. We kind of give our opinions there, give little, just little tidbits, what we find funny as we go through. You'll be filled in on our notes as we go, and then from there we'll go ahead and turn that into an episode as well. But that'll be like supplemental content, and like I said, expanding into other aspects of the genre, talking about games, talking about comics and graphic novels and novelizations of things. If either of us can sit down and get ourselves through a book, which I'm having a real problem with currently, but a lot of stuff like that. Just looking for fun ways to interact with everybody and kind of build something here and build something with others. Yeah. And even down the line, like if we've got blank spots on the episodes or have, if people have suggestions, we can go ahead, take from a list of suggestions, put those down, and do the sit downs, the watch alongs, and all that good stuff with that as well. I don't know about you, RJ. I can't speak for you, but I myself, I would love to do that. Time and everything permitting as we go. We're kind of in a weird position where we're both grown-ass adults working our grown-ass adult 40-hour-week jobs, and having our partners and our families, and scheduling's hard. I learned that a long time ago from just being an adult and trying to stay active playing, tabletop games. Scheduling is hard as an adult, so
we found that out last weekend when this episode was supposed to happen last weekend, and it didn't. So
yes, things do come up. Life is funny like that. As I said, I was having a bunch of nerves and everything earlier to where my brain was at war with me, and I was like, just scrap it, Ian. Just we don't want to do. We just scrap the whole thing. We don't want to do it. Where life comes up, and then suddenly I was getting the pull in my chest beforehand, and I'm like, oh, this won't look good if I'm suddenly, hey, I gotta cancel because pain, as I've been complaining all day. So yeah, no, life happens, things happen. So scheduling is going to be weird. We're going to try to get things down for our episodes. We're hopefully going to be doing viewings every Thursday, sitting down to record the episodes and the discussions every Friday, and that'll give me the weekend to push any kind of editing I might have to make to it. I'm really thinking there's a good chance for a little bit it's going to be like a one and done, like, hey, here we did the episode, here, tag on this, that, and the other that needs to be, and just throw it to the upload. But yeah, having the weekend to work on it and then being able to upload Monday. Hopefully Mondays will be our upload days. And Thursdays, if watch alongs ever become a thing, Thursdays will be watch along days because that's movie viewing day or whatever. So we're still talking about it. We're still working it out. We're just gonna have to see how life permits. As I said, we're both grown-ass adults with grown-ass adult 40-hour-a-week jobs with partners and families. So we're we are gonna try to make it happen. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to really get into it and start putting in the real work on it, as it were. But beyond that, I think that's really it. We've
I think we've pretty much covered.
Yeah, we're here and we have ideas, and moves we're making and all that good stuff. And even now, anybody who is here now for the recording or listens to it down the line, if you have any suggestions or anything, I mean, we'll have our contacts and whatnot in the upload details and all that good stuff, as well as other places. I'll make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Right now, we are only on Blue Sky and Twitter /X. If you refuse to call XX, we got you there, because so do we.
Elon, you can at me all you want. It's Twitter.
Yeah, at me, Elon. Fuck off. Beyond that, I will probably expand into some other socials we make in IG. I don't know. We're going to see what we can work with between ourselves without driving ourselves too nuts and spending too much time staring at screens, because some of us have to do that for work anyway, and some of us just do it excessively because that's the modern hellscape we live in. Everything has a screen. But yeah, other than that, I mean, that's about it. We'll put the show details in the descriptions, all the fun stuff. We don't have a direct timeline yet, but you can check at Hobbesy Horror over on Twitter and X, and I believe it's at Hobbesy Horror, whatever the Blue Sky stream of a username is. If you just type Hobbesy Horror, you should be able to find us on Blue Sky as well. But yeah, other than that, we have an email, HobbsyHorror@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions, you want to hit us up there. If you have any questions, concerns, if you just want to harass us, I'm not guaranteeing that I'll ever check it, but it does exist. It might just be a dead letter zone. So no, if you're sending to the email, you're just contributing to the inbox. Anything else?
Yeah, like I said, I think that covered it.
Rad. Okay. I guess you can find us individually. Do you want to plug your individual social where you can find RJ swearing at sports threads, I guess? I don't know who you're swearing at. I'm not a part of it. I don't know, but
it's just whatever. It's usually during football season when I'm drunk and I see something I don't agree with. That's pretty much what it is. And then someone comes back at me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think you're what, at RJWare4 on Twitter?
It's at RJWare89. God,
89.
I had to look that up because I did not know.
I'm glad you remembered that. All right, well, at RJ89 over on Twitter. You can find me over on Twitter at HobbsyVT. I had to think about that for a moment because I'm that Hobbsy on everything else. Twitter, HobbsyVT. Twitch, you're already here, but if you're not here and you're watching somewhere else, at that Hobbsy over on Twitch. Are we an at on Twitch? Do we have an at, right? Eddie will correct me. Anyway, that Hobbsy on Twitch and everywhere else, I'm pretty sure. maybe. We'll cover it all in the show details. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and hit the beat drop on the outro, which I don't think I lined up. So we might still get some vocalizations. And then, I mean, we'll hang out maybe a few minutes after here, just to have a little shutdown chat, right? But yeah, anyway, thanks for joining. Have a great one. Toodaloo!